Gentlemen, welcome to the Playmakers Blog Podcast NFL edition. And you know, this is your boy down there, the Playmakers Silence. You already know my co-host Dallas Glenn is here. How you doing?
Doing good.
You know, this is not going to be a long episode. I guarantee you that. This will probably be one of the shortest episodes we ever did with NFL. So without further ado, we're going to jump right into it. My Rams took their second straight loss against the Seattle Seahawks last week on Thursday Night Football. Hell of a game. They played much better, but a loss is still a loss, Dallas.
Yes, this is true.
So Jared Goff looked better. Todd Gurley looked better, but we lost Clay Matthews, by the way. Terrible roughing the passer call on Clay Matthews.
These things happen.
Nevertheless, Russell Wilson, damn, the dude is amazing. I can't say enough. The guy is literally carrying the Seahawks.
Yeah, that's why you got the money. Pete Carroll knows what's up. I don't know why he played hardball as long as he did, but Pete Carroll knows what's up.
So they're looking good. They're second in the division behind the undefeated San Francisco 49ers, who took care of Cleveland pretty handily on Monday Night Football, should I say.
Took care is a nice way to put it.
Baker Mayfield didn't know what hit him. But
no.
We'll get to them 49ers a little bit later. So, and transition on to the Dallas' Jacksonville Jaguars.
That white boy went off. He jumped. He ran. He sprinted. He twirled. He spinned. He juked the shit out of Miles Jack twice and put up 237 all-purpose yards. Russell Wilson right now is the MVP candidate, but that's because he's a quarterback. When you look at a player who, once the quarterback got the hell out the way, and to be fair to Cam Newton, he's hurt, but once the quarterback position got the hell out the way, Christian McCaffrey is clearly the most valuable player in the league. I shudder to think what would happen if wear and tear gets Christian McCaffrey down while the Panthers are competing for a playoff spot, because I don't know what that team is going to do without him.
That boy Christian McCaffrey is something else.
He's wild. The only solace that I can take is that we are not the only team that he has burnt this season.
Yeah. He did it to us, but he took a L. That's for sure.
Dude's going to have 1,000 yards at the end of week 6. He's going to have an entire season by the end of week 6, and that is astonishing.
Well, we'll see, because we'll get to them later, because they taking a trip to London this week.
London game's always fun.
Definitely is. But on the flip side, any concerns about your Jaguars? Not based on what happened with what the Panthers did, but based on how they looked against the Panthers.
I mean, I think going into the Saints, who have Alvin Kamara, who, before this season started and Christian McCaffrey went on this tear, a lot of people would consider Alvin Kamara to have been better than Christian McCaffrey. I don't really think that's the case anymore, even though Alvin Kamara is still like an all-pro level back. I think the only thing is Miles Jack has shown that, he is having issues. He is having issues in the run game, and he is having issues reading routes and reading cuts and reads by running back. So I hope that film helps a lot, because I'm not necessarily worried about Teddy Bridgewater, even though he had a great game. I'm not even really necessarily worried about Michael Thomas, because as of right now, Jalen Ramsey is supposed to be playing on Sunday. I'm just worried about Miles Jack in that matchup, because a lot of Christian McCaffrey's plays happened because Miles Jack made the wrong reads. The one touchdown where Christian McCaffrey ran an in, a really short in, and then got a touchdown, Miles made the wrong read, thought he was going to run a curl. Then the long 81-yard run, for whatever reason, they did a fake end around. Miles read the tight end, the tight end was coming up to block the end around. The dude jogged the fake. It was clear Christian McCaffrey was going to get the ball, but hopefully film takes care of that. Because when your middle linebacker doesn't know what the hell is going on, the entire defense is going to fall apart. So I'm not too worried.
All right. Sticking within the division, the Colts. They did it on Sunday Night Football.
Run blocking is a very simple skill, but many a championship offense it has made.
Took down Kansas City at Arrowhead. That did not feel good for you, did it?
For me? I mean, you got to think, Darnell, this is the same team that toasted us. They played man, and they ran the ball. Todd Walsh wanted to run zone, and we were passing because we were down because of the zone skills. I'm not mad because We haven't even played the Colts yet. We still have 2 games to play the Colts. Tiebreakers, all that good stuff. My thing is, wait a minute. So you mean to tell me that, 2000s Ravens football, 2017 Jaguars football, 2015 Broncos football, you mean to tell me that that's going to give you a chance in 2019? Oh, big picture, Darnell. You think too small. I'm very happy about how the Colts were able to win that game.
Houston put up 53 on the Falcons.
That's a little bit different. Don't really like to see Houston looking like the Houston team that everybody thinks is just the class of the division right now.
Real Fuller. Just toasted the Falcons.
And that's the thing, man. Like, a wide receiver not named DeAndre Hopkins. That's the tricky part. They invested in offensive line, first-round pick. They have Carlos Hyde, who's a tough north-south runner, and now you have a second wide receiver. Truth be told, if J.J. Watt just gets hurries and pressures, if J.J. Watt just gets a couple tackles for a loss per game, that defense really just has to hold on for the most part. Deshaun Watson has a second weapon, and he has a decent enough run game to get tough yards. It's not looking good.
But on the bright side, there's only one team left, and that team got beat by a quarterback that was concussed and didn't get clipped to almost game time.
Yeah. Still trying to figure out how that happened.
For some reason, the Titans cannot win certain games.
Marcus Mariota is up, and then Marcus Mariota's. See, here's the thing. Like, Marcus Mariota and Ryan Tannehill, which is the reason why Ryan Tannehill hasn't started yet, those are 2 500 quarterbacks on that roster. Both, like, career record-wise, they're a little bit under 500, but that's because of their rookie years. Their rookie years, their teams were horrible, which is why you get picked early in the first round. So if you take out their rookie years, these guys are 500 or a little bit above 500, meaning Ryan Tannehill and Marcus Mariota. So on one hand, stuff like this should happen. On the other hand, Marcus Mariota being this deep into his career and not getting an extension, not even a 1-year extension, that this is probably his last season in Tennessee, which kind of makes me sad.
So the Colts are on a bye week. Means they're not going nowhere.
Yeah. Everybody would have to win.
Everybody else plays. Shout out to Arizona. They actually got a victory for once.
Yeah. Shout out to Cincinnati.
They can't buy a win.
Literally. I don't think they can Vegas up a win. I don't think they can Pete Rose up a win.
But hey, San Francisco is ahead of the West, followed by Seattle, my Rams, and the Cardinals. Houston and the Colts are tied for the top of the AFC South, followed by the Jags and the Titans. Even though they are tied, Jacksonville already beat Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how we're gonna do it. I went to Facebook and threw a question out there. What's the biggest storyline going into this upcoming week, Dallas? Apparently, it weren't really storylines. They're mostly games that people were looking forward to.
Mm.
So I guess we can go ahead and get into week 6 right now. Oh. And that's the big disclaimer here. And we're going to go ahead because it is Thursday, and which means Thursday Night Football. We don't care. New England is finna destroy the Giants.
Oh, bro. Like, and they're making the smart business decision. There is no reason to throw Saquon Barkley out there right now. That is your franchise player right now. Yes, you drafted Daniel Jones. Yes, Daniel Jones might very well be your franchise quarterback of the future. But, man, look, until Duke and Daniel Jones or whatever proves to you that he can truly carry a team, which would have to involve beating New England tonight, there is no reason to rush Saquon Barkley out there. Not on his first contract, not while he's cheap, not while he's a game-breaking player. You're gonna lose.
Yeah, well, I tell you, that's not the biggest story.
What?
Well, Saquon is part of the biggest story, but that's not the entire big story.
Mm-hmm.
Everett Ingram is out.
Oh, wow.
Sterling Shepard is out.
Oh.
The backup running back, Wayne Gallman, is out.
So this entire game is just a business decision. Look, this is one of those things where it's like, I wonder, Because I think Max Kellerman alluded to this way back when. I think this was like Gettleman's choice. I think he reached on this quarterback, and I think this is one of those situations where it's like you're going to go against the number one defense and the third scoring offense in the NFL, and you're just going to have your rookie quarterback out there with nobody to throw to, nobody to hand off to. This is literally one of those situations where it's like, if you look at it from a business perspective, you better be right.
I'm gonna put it to you like this. You know the stat line for Johnny from Baker Mayfield from this past Monday night?
He only had 100 yards.
Tom Brady can do that tonight, and they'll probably win by like 13.
Truth be told, if they get a good kickoff, Tom Brady can do that in just about one drive. I mean, 8 for 22, 100 yards. I mean, Tom Brady can do that on accident.
And they'll win by double digits tonight.
Yeah.
For those of you who are used to looking at your Thursday night football, it's going to be a snoozer.
Yeah, like, check out the college game if there is one. I think there is one. But, support somebody's school. Support somebody's education. Go for a walk. Go for a jog, Advance your relationship or your marital affairs. I don't know, but unless you're a diehard Patriots fan, because I don't know why a Giants fan would put themselves through this. No real reason to watch the game.
With that being said, our second game in London, Dallas, the first one was a stunner because Oakland took down the Bears.
Bro, Josh Jacobs, man.
Your formula, he gave the rookie the ball.
Damn, it is what I said. I mean, it's crazy this past week in the NFL, man. Like, 2 of the biggest upsets in the league happened because dudes just ran the damn ball. It seems like it's so difficult of a cause. It's 2019. Analytics. It's a passing league. The rules. Yeah, but how do you neutralize the best pass rusher in the league or one of the best pass rushers in the league? Because I think Aaron Donald's stats are not indicative of what he's been doing this season. You run the damn ball. Don't drop your quarterback 40 times. And that's what John Gruden did. He ran the ball, and they ran to Khalil Mack.
So now it's round 2 of Carolina-Tampa this time. There is no Cam Newton for Carolina. But Carolina has come in, and the Carolina Panthers have won with him.
Yes, 3 straight.
Chris McCaffrey is like the MVP.
Yeah. He's going to have an Adrian Peterson-like season if you look at it from all-purpose yardage.
Tampa Bay is looking their room from getting, I don't have a word for it right now, but pretty much the New Orleans Saints handle their business.
Made Teddy Bridgewater look like he was playing for the Vikings again.
Can't guard Mike was definitely in full effect.
The interesting thing about this game is that right now the Tampa Bay Buccaneers' best player is a linebacker. So how that's going to help is Christian McCaffrey is a dual threat. I know Shaquille Barrett's been getting in the backfield. His tackles for loss number must be absurd because I know that he still, has 9 sacks. I need to look and see if that number's changed. I'm sure it has. But he gets in the backfield. So what you would hope for that is contain. While Christian McCaffrey has proven that he is a very good inside runner, like this year, he's still at 9 sacks. While he's proven that he's still a good inside runner this year, I mean, you would hope that contain will keep it in. You contain with a guy who's good at getting in the backfield. Your middle linebackers come in, defensive tackles, blah, 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 blah. The trick is going to be, is Christian McCaffrey just going to have a 100-yard receiving day? If Christian McCaffrey has a 100-yard receiving day, I think that's actually a good thing for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers because Christian McCaffrey being the number one target for a young quarterback who's trying to play mistake-free football means that he's not taking many risks throwing to the wide receivers. That means that he's pretty much only throwing to the wide receivers when it's really a good look and really a good read. And Todd Bowles, it wasn't looking that hot last week, 4 touchdowns through the air. But, I mean, Todd Bowles, for the most part, Darnell, has had Tampa Bay looking like a different team defensively. Then on top of that, Jameis Winston isn't giving as many free possessions as he has been known to do.
London games are different. Always have been, always will be. As you can see, because I'm pretty sure most people did not pick Oakland to beat Chicago. Neither one of us picked Oakland to beat Chicago.
No. Even though they did the exact thing that I said would get a win, but no.
Tampa Bay already took one from Carolina in Carolina on Thursday Night Football back in week 2.
And that was really because Cam Newton's injury got even worse. And it was just clear that Cam Newton couldn't go. That was really the beginning of the end of probably Cam Newton's 2019 season. Was that week 1 or was it week 2? It was week 2. Yeah. So, yeah, actually, that was like the end of Cam Newton's 2019 season so far. Dude had 331 yards on 51 attempts, no touchdowns, a fourth down play that was a sweet play to Christian McCaffrey that was kind of foreshadowing what the future of the Panthers offense would be. And I think that's the reason. So you have a quarterback that's trying to play mistake-free football, and you have a weapon that's just going off. But like I said, if you try to corral Christian McCaffrey as a rusher and let him have his as a receiver, I honestly think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are better off that way. Because what's the better way to win a shootout? Throwing deep to Mike Evans or dinking and dunking to Christian McCaffrey and hoping that he catches and runs 80 yards every time you throw the ball? If you're just talking quarterback to main weapon, you're going to win a shootout throwing to Mike Evans deep rather than dumping it off to Christian McCaffrey.
I think I'm going to go Tampa.
It's a London game, and Christian McCaffrey's been on a big streak, and I think they're already starting to the reason I say all this is because I think Christian McCaffrey is already starting to be in injury protocol a little bit more, and it's only week 6. I'm going to Tampa. Not to say that Christian McCaffrey is not going to have an excellent day receiving, but I think the fact that he's already in injury protocol, and I think the fact that one of the best players on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is a linebacker who is already competing for the sack title, is going to help with contain and bottling up and not letting Christian McCaffrey escape. If you shut down Christian McCaffrey as a runner, I think you have the Carolina Panthers and Kyle Allen.
Baker Mayfield is at home after taking the trip to Santa Clara and getting demolished.
Does it matter?
And wrongly accused of not doing certain things.
Does it matter? Like, does it matter that the Browns are at home? I tried to tell the very nice people that we had during the preseason, over the course of the preseason. But, bro, like, they're the Browns. Right? Like the Browns haven't had talented teams before. Right? Like the Browns didn't go 10-6 one season and still not make the playoffs.
Here comes Russell Wilson and the Seahawks.
Jesus.
You just went from one NFC West team that beat you up to the other NFC West team that's going to beat you up.
And they're going to beat them up in a completely different way. They're going to run that ball out of shotgun. You know how humiliating it is to get dominated when a team runs the ball out of shotgun? Because truth be told, there's only so many running plays and blocking schemes you can use out of shotgun. So they're literally doing the most basic middle school PE football. Ain't nobody lining up in single back in PE football. It's shotgun with a terrible snap and just randomly handing off with no running speed, no downhill effort. It's just going to be just 5 men pushing back the Browns 4 men. And Chris Carson just slowly getting 100 yards. Don't even know where the 100 yards came from. Hell, he might even bobble a touchdown reception. Because, man, the way that they did not defend the run against San Francisco, Matt Breida, apparently, according to the broadcast, came in this season as the third back on the depth chart. Now, granted, that's going to change because this man's season has been phenomenal to start off. But, Lord Jesus, Tevin Coleman had 94. Matt Breida had way over 100. That same run defense is going to be at home, Darnell. Run defense travels just as well, whether it's good or bad, Darnell. And that run defense is coming back home.
You have a lot to say, don't you?
Well, I know you're sick, and, the analysis from you ain't, coming out today. So I'm trying to help.
Really? Oh. But I guess I got some fun in this one. DeShaun Watson versus Patrick Mahomes.
Rebound game.
Are you picking Kansas City?
You're not?
That sounds like you picking Kansas City. You ain't even get no analysis, no nothing. You just win. Just do that out.
Let's think about it. Seriously, let's think about it. For the past couple of seasons, the weakness for the Houston Texans has been the secondary. I'm not familiar with their defensive scheme. DeShaun Watson's familiar with a lot of other people's defensive schemes. But the way that you've been beating the Kansas City Chiefs, or the way you've been competing with the Kansas City Chiefs for the past 2 weeks, is to play man, run the ball. Bill O'Brien is not going to run the ball 30 times with DeShaun Watson as his quarterback. So, okay, you're already going to throw. You're going to throw against that weak defense, but you're going to throw. Patrick Mahomes, film, route trees, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I'm not putting the Houston Texans safeties and corners in man. I'm not doing it. The speed, the route running.
You going to put the Chiefs in man?
The Chiefs, it doesn't matter what they do. See, you're misinterpreting, Darnell. You're asking the counter question as if that's going to be the formula for the Chiefs to win. The formula for the Chiefs to win is to tank and get a bunch of defensive ends like the San Francisco 49ers did. Unfortunately, with Patrick Mahomes, you're going to be in way too many games to tank. So their strategy is just hold the hell on, and maybe Andy Reid realizes that running the ball keeps the other team's offense off the field. Either way, though, how many games is it for Houston right now? Because Houston's on a 2-game win streak, aren't they?
Yeah, 3-2.
Yeah, so you also got to think, Darnell, win streaks in the NFL, it is significant. It's historic when they get over 5. They become significant when you're looking at 3 in a row. It's really a number.
I ain't seen no update on Mahomes' ankle, though, because he was limping after that game.
Oh, yeah, like he was limping. He's been limping since week 1. It just didn't seem like it because he toasted Oakland the next week and blah, blah, blah. But if you notice, man, like there's a reason why teams have been competing so much. Like Patrick Mahomes is a fabulous pocket passer. Don't get it twisted. It's just a lot of his game is making his offensive line look a lot better than they are by being so mobile.
Same thing for DeShaun.
Ain't that the truth? God dog. But here's the thing, though. Like, to your credit, because I see that you're hesitant, Houston's D-line and inside linebacker blitzes are more dangerous to Patrick Mahomes than anything that Frank Clark is probably going to do to DeShaun Watson. Either way, though, it's just the NFL is weird. The NFL is a weird league. Very few teams go 0-16. Very few teams go 16-0. Both of these teams have wins. Both of these teams have losses. Both of these teams have franchise quarterbacks that are going to be a part of the next generation of the NFL, just like we had Brady, Palmer, Manning, all of them. These are 2 that are going to be right in that conversation. So Patrick Mahomes, if he plays, is probably going to find a way. Because if they don't win this game, Houston's going to probably have a tiebreaker when you're talking about seeding. Because if Houston gets this win against Kansas City, no matter how many injury excuses people want to make, now you're talking seeding. Because Houston will be 4-2. Houston will have beat Jacksonville, Kansas City. And I think they have another decent win. So, yeah, if you're Kansas City, you got to start thinking like, man, our division isn't as automatic as we thought it was going to be rolling in. Yeah, Denver's 3 games back.
Not to mention that team that's playing tonight.
Oh, exactly. Now you're talking about first-round buys. If Kansas City has to play in the wild card, Darnell, they are not getting to the Super Bowl. So
I'm gonna go Kansas City because they got all their running backs back.
And Andy Reid, this has always been Andy Reid's problem, Darnell. Ever since he had Brian Westbrook. Brian Westbrook is supposed to be a Hall of Famer, but Andy Reid would just never hand it off. So he's going to have to learn with his quarterback hurt, though.
I love DeShaun Watson. I would not be mad if they pulled this off at Kansas City, but I don't see Kansas City losing two straight at home.
Because of the way Houston's performed at home in the playoffs, I wouldn't be mad either. I'd rather face Houston in Houston than face them as the road team coming in, because Houston's been ass at home in the playoffs. So, yeah. But I think Kansas City's going to win.
So, moving along, I'm gonna throw this out there for all this. Dallas, you might call this trolling by me, but I can't help. Colt McCoy is starting against Josh Rosen.
Oh, wow.
No, I'll take that back. Case Keenum is starting against Josh Rosen.
Oh, I'm about to say, yeah, because they changed that. Josh Rosen is going to be the starter in Miami for the rest of the season. Brian Flores is making the wrong move when it comes to taking for Tua. for two reasons. One, when you draft a quarterback in the top 10, you're drafting a quarterback to go to a bad team. So already when you have a top 10 talent at the quarterback position, they're quarterbacking a team that has nothing to give him, nothing for him to work with. It's just grit and toughness and slinging some wins out. Ryan Fitzpatrick, however, you know what you're getting. Ryan Fitzpatrick has to have a solid team around him for you to compete. Ryan Fitzpatrick is not carrying anybody. So you've traded away a franchise left tackle. You've traded away a cornerstone safety. You've traded away a number one wide receiver. Everybody knows, your locker room knows that you're not trying to win this season.
I just got a question. Because Jay Gruden got fired after getting toasted by New England, which everybody expected.
Yeah, let's be real.
What if this game ends in a tie?
Oh. Well, first of all, I mean, if the game ends in a tie, even though it is Miami, you would think that Jay Gruden would have lost the game. A tie is better than what Jay Gruden could have gave you. But to answer the question how you want it to be answered, that's exactly why you don't start Josh Rosen. Fitzpatrick's going to flat out lose to Case Keenum. Case Keenum can beat Ryan Fitzpatrick. Personnel considerations atoned for. Josh Rosen has a shot. Josh Rosen might be a gamer. Josh Rosen might, figure some things out. They're running the Earnhardt Perkins. So it's not like they're just going to go in with this is what we're going to do. This is Miami Dolphins football. No, the offense and the game plan is going to change depending on what the defense gives them. The Washington Redskins defense has been giving people a lot this season. So I don't see why you pick a second-year quarterback who got drafted in the first round in the top 10 to be your starter the rest of the season, but you want to tank for Tua. Doesn't make sense. I hope the Redskins lose. I'm picking the Redskins out of hope.
Out of hope. Lord have mercy. The nation's capital is feeling it.
Hey, man, how about them Nats, though?
That's about the only good thing they're going to get, not if they run into the St. Louis Cardinals.
Oh, how about them Dodgers? Ooh, and them Braves. Atlanta's waiting for the Hawks, and Lord knows if they're waiting for the Hawks to save them.
Man, one of these days, I'm going to do an episode with people from Atlanta and Washington, because these sports teams in these two cities is just...
It's wild. And that was Washington's first playoff win in a very long time, if ever. So
1981. That was 10 years before I came to existence.
The last of the chocolate cities. It's amazing.
Dallas, I know you said Jalen Ramsey is back, but I'm going with New Orleans.
Oh, you probably should, because it doesn't matter. Michael Thomas is not the issue. I don't know who the number one for Carolina is. The number one for Carolina is really Christian McCaffrey, but I don't know who their wide receiver one is. Don't matter. Emmanuel Sanders. Huh?
DJ Moore.
Oh, well, that's the reason why. Emmanuel Sanders, Emmanuel Sanders had his, but at the end of the day, he couldn't score enough touchdowns to get it done. So I'm not really worried about, Michael Thomas, because Michael Thomas is going to get the ball. They throw it to him 20 times a game. I'm worried about Alvin Kamara. Because, if Jalen Ramsey plays Michael Thomas, well, he'll be, that'll be fun. But Myles Jack cannot cover. He just cannot. He can't cover in zone, and he can't cover man. And Alvin Kamara has them feet and them hips and them legs and them knees, and all that's going to work together to just juke the holy soul out of Quincy Williams and Myles Jack. So I would pick the Saints too.
Carson, that's 2 weeks in a row. You got to pit against your own team.
I keep trying to tell you. I kept trying to tell T last season. If this was a Jaguars podcast and a Jaguars show, I'd be more biased. But it's not.
4 o'clock, the undefeated 49ers are at the Coliseum to take on the Los Angeles Rams. I'm going to be honest. This is not me being at home, but I've never seen John McVay lose 3 games in a row.
And who are you playing again?
We're playing in San Francisco, so the unbeaten streak is going to have to end in the Coliseum.
Okay, so let's see here.
So, I'm saying Seattle and San Fran will be tied atop the division.
Okay, let's see here. Let's just see. Let's just look at this. Todd Gurley is getting limited touches per game. This is as a rusher and as a receiver. So against much inferior defensive lines, he's only getting 40 rushing yards, 50 rushing yards. He had a couple good rushing yards in the first 2 games of the season, which is skewing his numbers, but he's not breaking 80 rushing yards. Let's be safe. He's not breaking 80 rushing yards. Todd Gurley not getting 80 rushing yards. That's taking him out the game for the most part. The 2 touchdowns that he got in the Seattle game, not the Seattle game, the Tampa game.
No, Seattle. He scored twice in Seattle.
Okay, so that's where he had the 2 short yardage touchdowns. Because one of his longest ones 13. The longest touchdown he's had in the past 2 weeks, I think, is 13 yards.
I'm going to say it again. I just don't see Sean McVay losing 3 straight. He has never lost 3 straight.
Okay, but so you're looking at it as a homer, though. Who cares if Sean McVay hasn't lost 3 straight?
I'm not looking as a homer. Do you really believe in the San Francisco 49ers?
I believe in that defensive line.
Because now not only do they got us, the following week they got Seattle.
Darnell.
So by the time the next 2 weeks in, I'm predicting Seattle to be on top of the division.
Darnell, what I'm trying to tell you is that Jared Goff has thrown for 517 and 400 plus yards. He's thrown for over 900 yards the past 2 weeks. So I'm not saying that San Francisco is going to shut you guys down. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is that defensive line is going to shut down the run game. And when your quarterback almost passes for 1,000 yards the past 2 games, and you're 0-2 in those 2 games, yeah, you can pick your team. That's great. But I'm not even picking San Francisco's team. I'm picking that defensive line. It's the easiest way to win a football game.
Other side too, now. Just don't pick one side. You got to pick both sides.
Okay, yes. The way your defenses look this year, yes, they will run the ball on you guys too. Are they going to run the ball and run up 40 points? God, I hope not. Because if that happens in 2019 NFL, throw the rules out, throw the playbooks out. We're going back to the 50s. If the San Francisco 49ers blow you guys out running the ball, that's different. But, dude, your defense hasn't exactly been the best scoring defense.
People are believing in the San Francisco 49ers, so I guess it's up to the Rams and Seattle to bring this back down.
You see, again, you're an NFC West homer. I'm trying to tell you the easiest way to win football games is you spend 4 great first-round picks.
Kyle Shanahan chokes in big moments.
Sean McVay scored how many points in the Super Bowl?
If I remember correctly, who's the one who had a 28-3 lead with 16 minutes left in the game?
At least he scored 28 points. Y'all both lost the Patriots.
Yeah, and he won. And he did the biggest choke job of all time.
Dude, you scored 3 points and the Patriots put up 14. If you guys were just half of what you had been the entire season, you would have had a ring.
Hey, Corey, Bill Belichick. Everybody's still trying to figure out how in the hell Kyle Shanahan blew that.
And we're trying to figure out how you guys couldn't kick 5 field goals.
Oh, ain't nothing to figure out. Bill Belichick knew what he was doing.
So Bill Belichick didn't know what he was doing against Kyle Shanahan?
Apparently not. They were getting beat 28-3.
And it's called a halftime adjustment.
And it wasn't even at halftime. It was 16 minutes left in the game. 1 minute left in the third quarter. And the whole fourth quarter.
So it's Bill Belichick. So it's Bill Belichick when you guys get shut down the entire game, but it's Kyle Shanahan, who wasn't even the head coach at the time. It's really Dan Quinn, but
yeah, we know who called offensive plays.
But the head coach decides the philosophy. That's why Dave Filippo got fired by Zimmer.
Kyle Shanahan looks good for right now, but the next 2 games going to be very telling.
It's even weirder too because you're saying this, but San Francisco's a defensive team, which is what I keep trying to tell you.
It'll come to head. Somehow, they did not flex this game out of Sunday Night Football. So you'll still get to see Pittsburgh at the Chargers.
The game that we literally just spent 5 minutes talking about should be the Sunday or the Monday night game. How do you still – is Pittsburgh even a big market? I know Pittsburgh is a legacy franchise, but is Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania itself a major market? Why is Why is Pittsburgh getting these games? They suck, okay? NFL, NBC, they suck this year. I know it's tough to believe, but Ben Roethlisberger is gone. Le'Veon Bell is gone. Antonio Brown is gone. Jalen Samuels is hurt now. Ryan Shazier is on the sideline, so you don't even have your feel-good story. Like, dude, they suck this year. Accept it. Same thing with the Browns. Start flexing, man.
I'm picking the Chargers.
It's as hurt as they are too, the Chargers, because their quarterback is still playing. Dude, it's week. What is this about to be week 6?
Week 6.
Nah, man, come on. Week 14, I can understand. Maybe a team starts off 0-5. They become, whatever that math is, and 6 or do this right now. Teams are what they are. People got to get to these damn bye weeks quick, fast, in a hurry. And I don't see why Pittsburgh is still getting primetime games.
They on their third string quarterback. Yeah, I got to go with Phillip Rivers.
Bros, they got to start flexing these games because there's no reason why I have to freaking. It's San Francisco, the Rams is automatically going to be a West Coast game no matter where they're playing. But it's like, dude, like, come on, man. Like, we're all the way here in Florida. Are they going to 4:30 that on Fox?
4 or 5.
Okay, well, at least there's America's Game of the Week. Hopefully. Fucking market stuff.
Monday Night Football, Detroit Lions and Green Bay get together at Lambeau Field for round 1.
Why am I watching the Detroit Lions? And don't say it's because it's a divisional game. Because, I mean...
They only got one loss.
Bro, it's Detroit.
Yeah.
At least San Francisco. At least San Francisco had the 80s. At least San Francisco has the most NFC West titles. But I mean, bro, like, it's Detroit. It's a divisional game. Green Bay. Play man against Aaron Rodgers, and he'll probably just run for 80 yards. He'll get the key first downs that are needed. And Aaron Jones, I mean, hell. The way he played against the Dallas Cowboys linebacking core, which is supposed to be one of the best linebacking cores in the league. I mean, play man against him too if you want to.
I'm picking Green Bay. They already beat Minnesota. They already beat Chicago. They might as well make it a clean first-round sweep for the division.
Exactly. The smallest market in all of American pro sports is probably about to have a firm hold in their division. Green Bay's – it's weird because Green Bay is always a contender in the preseason. Green Bay is like Georgia. Green Bay is like the Georgia of pro football. That being said, the playoffs feel better when you know there's going to be a game at Lambeau Field. Just feel good.
That's all I got for you this week. Told you it's going to be short because it's already Thursday Night Football, and we all know it's like we just pray that Daniel Jones is walking out of Gillette Stadium after this.
Yeah, and we just hope that by the end of this week, Odell Beckham Jr. isn't begging for a trade.
Oh, there's rumors going around saying the Browns are listening to trade offers.
As they should. I mean, look, Baker Mayfield is a dominant personality. Baker Mayfield is a playmaker. It's just Freddie Kitchens is in his first year as a head coach, and it's nice to have an abundance of weapons in the preseason. It's nice to talk about, they're going to do this and they're going to do that, and they have this and this, and how are you going to stop that? How are you going to cover that? And then you realize, first-year head coach, second-year quarterback, who do I get the ball to? You need to get rid of some of those weapons. You need to get role players, just like LeBron did that one season where he got rid of all those damn big-name players who were too old and didn't want to listen and won an NBA championship with a bunch of – he had a short Australian man as his point guard. So you got to make it easy on Baker. That's Baker's team. That's Baker's offense. And Odell Beckham Jr. has actually been a model citizen in Cleveland. Once the season started, he's been a perfect teammate. It's just – bro, when you have a superstar like Odell Beckham Jr., you got to get him the ball. But Jarvis Landry has been your number one receiver since – well, he was your number one receiver last year. You're used to him. We're preparing for a tight end. Tight end's hurt. Nick Chubb, he needs his carry. So you just got to trim some stuff, get back on the right track, help your quarterback out.
So there you go. Next week, more eyes on the South, more eyes on the West. Let's see where everybody stands at after week 6.
We're almost to the first half.
Yep.
The NFL season is the shortest out of all of them.
Pretty much.
But it's weird because it's a long season. You got to think of the players' bodies and everything. I'm sure they don't think it's passing by quick. But as a fan, you see the World Series and everything. You see a team that won 106 games lose, and it's just like 106 games, and you lost some. We're almost done with the entire NFL season, and it's like not even the second month.
And then we got one more week left before basketball.
Even basketball is super long in comparison. The regular season is like 32 games. So, yeah, every game matters. Every game matters. Then, before you know, it'll be March Madness. It'll be February. We'll see which two teams are able to select the least because I don't really think there is a dominant team this year. But
there is a dominant team. They 5-0. And they're about to put it on display tonight.
The New England Patriots are a defensive team this year, though. That's the thing. Like, when the New England Patriots are struggling to figure out they're scoring offense, true, but you got to think, like, they're getting so many possessions. When the New England Patriots are trying to figure out what the hell they're going to be doing on offense and still working out some kinks, that kind of lets you know what season is going to be. The San Francisco 49ers defensive line has got them to 4-0. The New England Patriots defense has gotten them to 5-0. It's 2019 with every rule in the book and every game having a rougher to passing penalty at least once. But the two undefeated teams are defensive teams.
With that being said, follow us on Facebook, Darnell the Playmaker Silence, Dallas Glenn, on Twitter, the Playmaker Stuff. Actually, I'm on Twitter now, so it'll be Playmaker20. Dallas doesn't have a Twitter no more. Nope. You got to follow him on Facebook.
Or just tweet the account.
With that being said, enjoy your football weekend.
And fuck the Titans. Enjoy the bottom of the basement.
The podcast you just heard was made using Anchor. Ever thought about making your own podcast? Anchor makes it really easy for anyone to get started. It's a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing podcasts. Best of all, it's 100% free. Sign up now at anchor.fm/new. That's anchor.fm/new to get started.